What's up, guys? It's Zach with Z-Spirit Airsoft. Today, we're going to be unboxing the Arcturus Saber URGI M4. Right here, we can see that we do have the Arcturus FE feature enhanced, is what it states, MOSFET. Very similar to a Perrin MOSFET. It's an optical MOSFET that they place inside. Basically just design their own so they don't have to pay for licensing fees and things like that with Perrin, I believe. I also want to state that this is not a sponsored video. I do this all on my own money. So currently we have this replica, and this will be my personal replica. You guys will see some gameplay footage in the following months with this guy. But I'm a big Arcturus fan. I have the Arcturus PP19 that you've seen some videos in the series on, as well as the URGI M4 that we're going to be unboxing today. So jumping right on in, we have some secure packaging here. Closed cell foam. We have the actual replica here that comes with some awesome features and things of the sort. This is from Mirror Tactical. It is their special edition. So I'll get into some of the things that the special edition has that if you order a Saber from, let's say, evic.com or Amped, they may not have this series. But you'll still get the replica. It just may not have all the things that are in this box. So this is the special edition version, and I'll jump right in here. So with the FE, you always get a programming card. It's the same as a Perrin. You do it by trigger pulls and selector switches. There's a lot of information on their website about this, but you'll get the card, the programming card, and the user manual will also go over that. Arcturus likes to advertise, as we all do. It's a very consumer-based market, so everything in here is going to be the different versions of replicas and things of the sort. Some things that might be coming out, like their Trinity series that has a gate titan, as well as their 13-to-1s and all their upgrades out the box. Some cool things that come with this series. I'm not sure that come actually with the limited edition version. They might come with every Saber series, I'm not 100% sure. But we do have a front and rear Knight's Armament style flip-up sight. It also comes with a Dean's to Tamiya adapter, as well as various Allen keys that you'll need to actually get into the replica itself, which we'll do as well. You also are going to get, the replica has to ship per US law with a orange flash hider. But Arcturus thought of this, and they do give you a tri-lug flash hider with a crush ring or crush washer that you can install. And that's pretty neat as well, so it's something that you don't actually have to buy. We have a buffer retaining screw. If you want your battery to remain in the buffer tube itself, you can actually install this. It just has knurled ends, and you can use your fingers to actually close off the battery compartment in the back. Something as well is you get an AR-15 castle nut removal tool. It also can be used to take off your flash hider, which does not have any sort of threads, I believe, to remove. So they set it up for you to actually remove that and put on the black flash hider that they give you. They also always provide the quality control paperwork. So for this, you can read through on your own replica. At least here with the Saber series, should be close to 400 FPS. So this was shooting 397 to 398 with a .2 gram BB in their factory. You're also going to get a mid-cap magazine. Markings, like I said, show 20 and 30, but it's supposed to look fake. It says 5.56. It's obviously not 5.56. This is a 6mm BB. This is an AIRSOFT replica. But I'm not 100% sure on BB count. I believe it's in the 100, 120 range, but I can't count on that. I'd have to read into the user review here. But these are great mid-cap magazines. We have our AIRSOFT replica. So right off the bat, Arcturus has their amazing quality control Feels great, nothing's wobbly, barrel isn't wobbly. Our selector has amazing tactile response. Everything just feels good. Our buffer tube doesn't wobble. Our stock doesn't feel like it's going to fall off. And then we do have a really unique style of dust cover here. We also do have a functioning bolt release with this, mock bolt and bolt catch with this. So you can pull your charging handle, you can adjust your hop up, which is rotary style, and then you can hit your bolt release and it'll fly forward with a nice little sound here. You'll also notice that there are no markings anywhere on this. Normally there are Geisley markings or like US military use on normal US based airsoft replicas. Arcturus gives you a clean slate, you can do whatever you want. I find that I like that more than when there's something actually on my replica. If you want to go laser engrave your airsoft replica, you can so do so. The only markings that you have are painted, I believe. Nope, they're laser engraved. And they do say Arcturus 6mm BB and then give your serial number. In the rear here, we have our adjustable stock. Normally, I believe we either have 5 or 6 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position stock. And then you can actually access your battery just by twisting the knob in the back and pulling down, which will show us our standard Dean's connector plug. You can actually just tuck that bad boy in, close this up, lock it into place, and you are ready to go. Some other cool features, really the only other feature that I will note on the exterior of this replica is that your trigger is adjustable. It is a flat style trigger, which is great for gloved hands or speed, but you do have an Allen key that Arcturus gives you that you can adjust the break point and slack of your flat style trigger just right here on the exterior of your mag well. So let's jump right on in. We won't delay anymore, and you guys can see the internals of this replica as we see it currently. So here we go. All right, so let's take a seat and look at this. As you can see, I've put on my own flare of attachments that work for me. So I do have a D-ball, a BCM M-lock grip. We have a Streamlight with a dual tape switch here, as well as a replica E-Attack, and I did sport our rear iron sight. I've shot this a few times so far, nothing out in the real world sense of gameplay. Our stock to remove it. And while we're here, let's do a quick comparison of a 7.4 versus an 11.1 on this. Nothing is upgraded. This is completely bone stock. So let's get down into this. We have 2 beeps. That tells us we're in 7.4 semi. Decent. And 3 beeps, that tells us we're in 11.1. A little bit snappier, but not too bad. So here as our base, what we're gonna do with any M4 variant is remove the upper receiver and set that aside. I'm basically just gonna take a quick peek at what our this is also my personal replica. So if I'm a little more violent with this, this is not a client's, this is mine. And I might use unconventional tools to get things apart here. So we have a black steel inner barrel. I believe it's 300 and something millimeter. I'd have to double check. E-bike always has those listed. We do have a spring, and then we have our rotary style hop up. Arcturus just uses a standard nub and bucking combo. They're black. It's just the standard. You're not going to get amazing accuracy out of it, so I always recommend upgrading your bucking, barrel, and nub before you do anything long range. We're now left with our lower receiver here. The magwell and it looks like mag release are a real-ish style, so what we're going to do is place our thumb in and place that on hold for 2 seconds while I actually remove the bolt release. There we go. And we're going to push down on this side for our mag release and pull that out. Set that aside. And then we can continue to removing and that. We're now here. Let's remove our motor grip and check out this motor. Okay. Let's set that aside and make sure not to lose that. And it does look like our bolt release side came out as well. That's different for me, so make sure not to lose those as well. I got lucky with flipping it. Both wires are ran out the front. That's good to note. And our positive lead is facing our left side of our replica. All right, bonded neodymium motor. Looks like, yeah, nothing special. It doesn't have a whole lot of torque. Feels like a standard motor. And then it looks like it's a actual buffer tube. So what we'll do is we'll grab our tool that they provided us and we'll remove our buffer tube here. Not the easiest. There we go. Doesn't look locked, like with any sort of adhesive or anything like that. And then we can just unscrew our buffer tube. That is awesome. I love that. And then we have our quick change spring system, which looks like we can use our tool they gave us as well. And spring guide, which does have bearings, as well as our, feels like an M120 spring. So far, very impressed. It looks like our knurled side on our trigger pin is on this side. So what we'll have to do is smack it from this side without our selector. Yep, perfect. And last but not least, We'll see how hard it is to remove our rear pin here. Oh, no. It looks like our selector actually has to be removed. Be mindful when removing any sort of selector that there is a ball detent as well as a spring. So there's a spring in there and then our tiny little ball detent. And we can remove our gearbox. Off the bat, I can see that we have a bearing on our bevel gear, as well as the top of our spur. I can verify here in a moment if we have one on the bottom of our spur, and then our sector is a bushing. So very nice details so far. Let's get you guys a little bit closer. Removing our screws, which are just standard Phillips. It looks like we have a beefed up gearbox with radiusing on our front and rear of our cylinder. Also noting that this doesn't look like a standard V2 gearbox. We do have a cutout in the back as well as a extension in the rear for our spring guide. So this doesn't look like it will take standard V2 style gearboxes. Right here in the rear, and we can wobble off. Looks like our piston is a standard, it's almost like an ABS or nylon with a full steel rack. We have our standard Arcturus style tappet. It looks like it's polymer. It states on the actual tappet plate with a pretty beefy return spring. We do have an O-ring nozzle, and we do have a sorbo pad on our cylinder head. Feels pretty beefy. And then our cylinder is, it looks like I'd say an 80% cylinder, which would match pretty well with our barrel size. It does look like we do have in our special edition the upgraded CNC gear set. So let's take a quick look at that, along with our adjustable trigger. Here you can get a better look at the adjustable Allen key here that you can fit in to adjust without taking your gun apart. Let's take a look here. And get a good look at what we got as far as gear set goes. So it looks like we do have 13:1s. It is written right there on the actual replica gear set itself. It looks like our shimming is pretty bang on. No wear so far. And then it almost looks pretty much identical to a Perrin V2 MOSFET in our replica. It is an optical sensor that goes across our sector here. It does not look like they short stroked this gear set like they do on the PP19 series. And then it does look like they have a spacer for your wires, so your wire won't get chewed up by your motor. On this side you can see the sticker for our trigger. It just helps the MOSFET read. Overall, very, very impressed with Arcturus. Things that I would change off the bat, I would remove... Looks like we have... Let me see. Can give you guys a good idea of what we got here. So it looks like we have 8mm bushings and bearings for all 3 sections. And then it does look like our radius goes all the way through for these, which is fantastic on this replica. So, like I said, the only things that I would change, I'm not a big fan of bearings, so I would replace these to bushings. Maybe give it a quick shim. But overall, very impressed. Those are the only 2 things that I would change for reliability. I would also swap to a brushless motor of some sort. And then your barrel, bucking, and nub. I think that would give you a very reliable replica that you could pretty much use for an extended amount of time, years and years at this point for these replicas. These are their CNC gear set. I believe they're OEM by SHS. And that's all I would do for this replica. So let's throw it back together and let's go do a shooting test on the range and see what we're looking like.
Like, dude, that is...
How do you feel about it?
For a stock
That's
one?
crazy.
Please tell me you got that.
I have no
Please
idea.
tell me you got just dome that steel from here.
That's how far?
I can get my rangefinder.
It's, I mean, it's 80 yards maybe?
That's at least.
Yeah.
I have to aim down.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was it.
Yep. Yeah.